The Burning Crusade pre-patch is not a small update. It completely changes how you level, how you gear, and how you play your class. Epic mounts are cheaper. PvP gear no longer requires ranking. And for the first time in Classic, you are no longer forced to play as a healer. If you log in without knowing these changes, you will waste gold, time, and progression. In this video, I'll show you the most important Burning Crusade pre-patch changes, and how to take advantage of them before TBC even launches. Let's start with one of the biggest and most impactful changes in the Burning Crusade pre-patch: mounts and riding skills. If you remember Classic, getting an epic mount was painful. It required level 40 riding, a huge amount of gold, and for many players, weeks or even months of farming. In the pre-patch, this completely changes. The level requirement for riding is reduced. Normal riding is now available at level 30 instead of 40. And the total cost for mounts and riding skills is reduced by roughly 250 gold compared to Classic. This means faster leveling, faster travel, and a much smoother experience, especially for fresh characters and alts. But here's why this really matters. Movement speed directly affects your leveling efficiency. Quicker travel means faster quest turn-ins, faster farming routes, and less downtime overall. If you're planning to level a new character for Burning Crusade, this change alone saves you hours of playtime. And for gold farmers, this also shifts the economy. Mount-related gold sinks are reduced, meaning more gold stays in circulation. Expect changes in prices, especially early in the pre-patch. So if you were delaying riding or saving gold specifically for a mount, the pre-patch is the moment you've been waiting for. Now let's talk about one of the most game-changing updates in the Burning Crusade pre-patch: PvP gearing. In Classic, PvP gear was locked behind the ranking system. High Warlord and Grand Marshal items required extreme time investment, unhealthy play hours, and constant ranking competition. That system is gone. In the pre-patch, you no longer need a PvP rank to obtain these epic items. Instead, PvP gear is purchased using honor points and battleground marks. And here's the important part. The cost has been reduced even further compared to Burning Crusade Classic in 2021. Back then, you needed roughly 3 times more honor and up to 10 times more battleground marks. Now, gearing through PvP is faster, cheaper, and far more accessible, especially for fresh level 60 characters. This means you can log in, queue battlegrounds, and realistically gear your character without burning yourself out. And these items are not just temporary. Many of them will easily last until level 65 in the Burning Crusade. For PvE players, this is huge. Even if you don't enjoy PvP, these weapons and armor pieces are extremely strong early on and can outperform dungeon gear. If you plan correctly, you can enter Outland already geared, already powerful, and already ahead of the curve. This single change removes one of the biggest barriers Classic ever had, and it rewards smart preparation instead of endless grinding. One of the most important, and most overlooked, changes in the Burning Crusade pre-patch is how classes are finally allowed to play the way they were meant to. In Classic, many classes were forced into a single role. Priests had to heal. Druids had to heal. Shamans and paladins were expected to heal if they wanted a raid spot. That era is over. With the updated talent trees and new class abilities, multiple specializations become fully viable in both PvE and PvP. Shadow Priests now deal meaningful damage, while also providing their group with mana regeneration and increased survivability. Balance Druids, Enhancement Shamans, and Retribution Paladins finally bring real value beyond healing. You are no longer forced to respec just to be accepted into content. You can play DPS, and in some cases, even tank, without being a liability. This change doesn't just affect gameplay. It changes how groups are formed, how raids are built, and how players choose their mains going into Burning Crusade. If you've ever avoided a class because you didn't want to be locked into healing, the pre-patch gives you a second chance. And this freedom becomes even more important once we reach Outland. Alchemy, the end of transmute control. Let's start with alchemy, one of the most important gold-making professions in Classic. In the Classic era, transmute cooldowns controlled supply. Arcanite bars were valuable not because they were difficult to obtain, but because they were time-gated. 1 transmute per day. 1 chance per alchemist. This created artificial scarcity. In the Burning Crusade pre-patch, that system is gone. Transmute Arcanite no longer has a cooldown. You can transmute as many bars as you want, as long as you have the materials. This single change has massive consequences. Supply immediately increases. Scarcity collapses. Prices begin to fall. If you've been hoarding arcane crystals expecting prices to rise, you need to rethink that strategy immediately. The market will correct fast, and players who act early will protect their gold. Those who wait will sell into a falling market. But this doesn't mean alchemy becomes useless. It simply shifts focus. Consumables, potions, flasks, elixirs. As leveling speeds increase and PvP activity spikes, demand for consumables remains strong. Smart alchemists adapt. They don't chase dead markets, they follow player behavior. Tailoring, Mooncloth monopoly ends. Tailoring faces the same reality. In Classic, Mooncloth was valuable because it was rare. And it was rare because it was locked behind a long cooldown. Once again, the pre-patch removes this restriction. You can now create Mooncloth freely. No waiting. No daily limit. The result is predictable. Mooncloth prices fall. Crafted epic monopolies collapse. And players who built their entire gold strategy around cooldown control lose their advantage. But just like alchemy, tailoring doesn't die, it evolves. Pre-patch leveling, alt gearing, dungeon preparation. These create consistent demand for crafted items. The difference is that gold now comes from volume, not exclusivity. Enchanting, act now or pay later. Enchanting is where many players make their biggest mistake. In Classic, you can disenchant items without leveling the profession. Green, blue, even epic items, no restriction. That freedom disappears in the pre-patch. From this point forward, you must level enchanting to disenchant higher level items. This means every item sitting in your bank right now represents a decision. Disenchant now, freely. Or wait, and pay the price later. Players who ignore this change will either lose materials or be forced to power level enchanting at inflated prices. This is one of those changes that doesn't look dramatic, but punishes unprepared players quietly. Jewel crafting, a new profession, a new trap. The pre-patch introduces a brand new profession, jewel crafting. On paper, it looks exciting. Gems, sockets, stack customization. But here's the reality during the pre-patch. Most jewel crafting items are not worth crafting yet. Materials are expensive. Items are quickly replaced once Outland content begins. This creates a classic economic trap. Players rush to level the new profession. They overpay for materials. And they craft items that lose value almost immediately. Smart players prepare instead of rushing. They stockpile. They wait. They enter Outland ready to capitalize when jewel crafting truly becomes powerful. Inventory stacking, hidden gold increase. One of the most underrated changes in the pre-patch has nothing to do with crafting at all. Material stacking increases from 10 to 20. This sounds minor, but it isn't. Inventory space is economic power. More space means longer farming sessions, less downtime, more efficient routing. Bank characters become stronger. Farming routes become cleaner. And players who understand logistics gain a silent advantage. Faster leveling equals faster gold circulation. Leveling speed directly affects the economy. The pre-patch reduces experience required from level 20 to 60. Quests above level 30 grant more experience. Elite quests become solo-friendly. This accelerates the entire player base. More players reach higher levels faster. More players enter gold-generating activities. More gold enters the economy. When gold supply increases, prices shift. Those who understand timing profit. Those who don't chase outdated strategies. Small diamond gold strategy. What smart players do now. So what does a smart player do in the pre-patch? They stop thinking short-term. They stop chasing dying markets. They prepare. They disenchant now. They sell cooldown-based materials early. They hold gold instead of sinking it into temporary crafts. They enter Outland liquid, flexible, and ready. Because the pre-patch is not about peak profit. It's about positioning. End transition to next section. Professions define how rich you are. But gold means nothing if leveling itself still feels slow. So next, let's talk about leveling changes, quest adjustments, and why the pre-patch is the easiest time Classic has ever offered to reach level 60. If professions control how rich you become, leveling controls how fast you reach relevance. And in the Burning Crusade pre-patch, leveling has never been easier, faster, or more forgiving than it is right now. Experience changes, less grind, more progress. One of the biggest hidden upgrades in the pre-patch is the experience curve itself. From level 20 to level 60, the amount of experience required to level up has been reduced. On top of that, quests above level 30 now grant significantly more experience. This means something very important. You spend less time killing meaningless mobs, and more time actually progressing. For veteran players, this makes alt leveling dramatically faster. For new players, it removes one of Classic's biggest barriers, the endless mid-level grind. Small Diamond Elite quests, from group content to solo-friendly. Another major change affects quest difficulty. Many quests that were previously marked as elite are no longer elite. The enemies have been adjusted, their health reduced, their damage lowered. What used to require a full group can now be completed solo. This completely changes leveling routes. You're no longer forced to skip large quest chains just because you can't find a group. Leveling becomes smoother, more consistent, and far less frustrating. Important note: not every elite has been removed. Some dangerous enemies remain. But overall, solo players are finally respected. Small diamond faster leveling equals smarter time investment. This matters because time is the most valuable resource in Classic. The pre-patch rewards players who level now, not later. If you wait until Burning Crusade launches, you'll be competing with everyone at the same time. Crowded zones, overfarmed quest mobs, slower progress. Leveling during the pre-patch avoids all of that. Small diamond new races, new opportunities. The pre-patch also allows us to level 2 brand new races. Draenei for the Alliance, Blood Elves for the Horde. And these aren't just cosmetic additions. Draenei become the only Alliance race able to play Shaman. Blood Elves give the Horde access to Paladins. This permanently changes faction balance, raid composition, and PvP dynamics. If you've ever wanted to experience these classes from level 1, the pre-patch is the perfect time. Quest flow feels modern, finally. Classic questing was often slow, clunky, and inefficient. The pre-patch smooths that experience. Better quest rewards. Faster turn-ins. Less backtracking. You spend more time playing, and less time running. Small diamond: why this is the best time to level, ever. All of these changes combine into one simple truth. This is the easiest leveling environment Classic has ever had. Less grind. More experience. Solo-friendly quests. Faster mounts. If you're planning to play Burning Crusade seriously, leveling in the pre-patch is not optional. It's the advantage. Transition to final sections. But leveling and gold mean nothing if your interface and combat tools slow you down. So next, let's talk about UI changes, edit mode, and why the pre-patch finally lets you customize the game without installing dozens of add-ons. The Burning Crusade pre-patch is not just an update. It's a reset. It changes how fast you level, how you earn gold, how you gear, and how you play your class. Players who prepare now will enter Outland ahead of the curve. Those who don't will feel it immediately. If this video helped you understand the pre-patch, make sure to subscribe for more Burning Crusade guides, tips, and preparation content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in Outland.